Do 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 do.
Tom, have you seen my copy of the greatest movie of all time?
17 again?
Yeah.
Pretty sure about.
Give me 1 second here. Just sharing this on Facebook and such, so people know I am live. Shouldn't take too long. One person watching, I think. So just give me a second and I'll be with you. There we go. That should do for now. Right. No, that's done. That's done. Hello, hello, hello. How are we? That's probably just wasted about 3 minutes. If anybody's been watching since the beginning on, just happened to click on and thought, why are we watching a guy just typing on his phone screen and not talking? I do apologize. It is quite rude to do something like that, just but anyway, yeah. So I was just doing the whole social side of things, basically posting the link and everything, posting that I am currently live on my YouTube channel. So if anybody is available at this moment in time, they can come along and join in if they wished. As you can see by the title page of this live stream, I am going to be talking a little bit about Revenge of the Fallen, Rise of the Beasts, which is the upcoming live-action Transformers film. I haven't actually done a dedicated thing talking about Rise of the Beasts, what my thoughts are on the trailer and things, and how the characters look and things of that nature. So that's basically what this is going to mostly entail. If anybody wants to come in on this and wants to, while I'm live, if anybody wants to comment, wants to come in and talk about what their problems are, or if they've got any issues with Rise of the Beasts, or if they like what they're seeing, it doesn't matter. End of the day, it's whatever. Anybody out there that is aware of Rise of the Beasts and is a Transformers collector, or is just a fan of the live-action Transformers films, whatever it is, whoever you are, if you're interested in talking or chatting about this, then please by all means do so. Get involved, and we can have a little discussion between people and see how things go. If I don't get anybody involved in the stream, I probably might do it for about half an hour, max of 45 minutes. I'd say I will say 45 minutes is the cutoff if there isn't any audience there or there's no communication between anybody. I'll finish this off at latest of 45 minutes, so into the stream. If we start getting people coming in, then obviously I will carry it on for a little bit longer, because at the end of the day, it has been a while since I've done a stream. It feels good to be back. I have missed these streams. Obviously, this is the first stream of 2023. This is the first live stream of 2023, and it is probably not going to be the last either. So it's the first of 2023, but it has been a while since the last one I did, which would probably have been around about August time, maybe September. No. Yeah, I'd say maybe about August, September time. I'd say maybe, give or take, which was the last time I did a live stream on this channel, because I did a special TF Nation related one, which was where Billy and everybody and Tony and a few other people came on that one. So I think it has been a fair few months. I might be talking out of my ass there. I might have done more than I'm thinking. My memory isn't very good these days. I don't know what I've done 5 minutes ago, let alone what I did about 5 months ago, or a couple months back at least. Anyway, so there's 2 people currently watching. I don't know if I've got anyone actually currently in the chat or not. So yeah, if those 2 people that are watching, if you're interested in getting involved in the live stream, do, by all means, please do. You're more than welcome, whoever you are. But I'm going to give it another 5 more minutes, and then I will get into the nitty-gritty. I'm deliberately waiting just to make sure I start to get some people in, because we're doing something live, as you know. We're doing something live. You don't know, somebody comes in and I've missed about probably 20 minutes of what you've just said. So I'm just waiting around just to see if I actually get anybody in the comments and everything before we start, and then we can. I'll probably start in about 5 minutes, and then we'll go from there. Right. So yes, give it a couple more minutes, and then we'll get on to the nitty gritty. So while we're doing that, I'm gonna present. What's that? Oops. Remove that for now. Just getting things set up. So yeah, while we're waiting on people, I'm gonna play through the trailer again for Rise of the Beasts. I'm gonna go through the trailer again just to replenish it back in my mind so that I can start the discussion side of things. So I'm gonna do that now, and while we're waiting on people, if anyone wants to come on in. So I'm gonna play it now. What I'm gonna say is, all I'm gonna say here quickly is there might not be any audio coming through. The last time I attempted this, the last time I attempted this, I basically didn't. I could hear what was happening. I could hear the audio here through what I was doing, but the audio didn't capture on the live stream. So it basically went completely silent when I was playing it. But anyway, just so you're aware of that, if there's no audio from audio from the video or anything like that, then that's the reason why. So without further ado, let's play this Rise of the Beast trailer. That is definitely in. Yes, that's better. Let's do things. Let's do it. Right, so there's the trailer. Hello, Hydronite. Let me just take this off for a second. Evening, Nosy. Hello, Hydronite. How are you doing? Hope you're well. No audio for the trailer, at least on my end. Yeah, I know. I literally just said that before I played it. I don't know what the problem is. For some reason, I'm hearing it perfect right here. I can hear it, but there's absolutely zero audio coming through at all. Like, not the microphone is not picking it up. I don't know why. Let me try something. Where is it? I wonder if that settings there we go. Audio. Strange. Even though I've got perfect audio on this end. Yeah, I've got perfect audio. But for some reason it's not picking up my Blue Yeti, and I don't know why. So yeah, unfortunately, I can't do anything about it. I can't do anything about that, unfortunately. I don't know what the problem is. It used to work perfectly, absolutely used to work perfectly, but for some reason, my Blue Yeti microphone is not being picked up by my computer, so I need to have a look into that at some point. It's picking up my webcam. Obviously, you guys can hear me, right? You can hear me talking, hopefully. You can hear me talking, but yet for some reason the microphone does not seem to want to pick up anything else other than my voice, and it seems so weird. It don't make sense to me. Anyway, streaming video is weird. Yeah, I mean, I've done it before and it works perfect, so it could be a driver issue. You're right there. Hello, Ninja Bill. How are you doing, my friend? Incompatible format. Sounds like a driver issue. Yeah, I might have to look into it. There could be some sort. Maybe I need to update a driver somewhere. I just don't know. But I'll have a look. I have to look into that and see what's what. But anyways, so I know Ninja Bill, you've really just come in, but literally I just played the trailer for Rise of the Beasts. So obviously most people would have already have seen the trailer for Rise of the Beasts. So basically this is just a discussion, just to talk about Rise of the Beasts, what people's thoughts are on the trailer. Are they going to go and see the film? What are their thoughts on the designs of the Transformer of the robots? What are their thoughts? What are their early thought processes going into this film? Even though the film hasn't come out yet, for all we know, the film might actually be quite good. But from what we've seen in the past, even though personally, my favourite live-action Transformers films are the 2007 film, which was the very first one with Michael Bay, and Bumblebee is my second favourite. Mostly because those felt much more closer to the Transformers thing, and then the rest of them had their moments, but they really was complete crap when it comes to the story side of it. Yeah, the action was brilliant. The stunt work, the chase scenes, the car chase scenes, and all that kind of stuff. The action was good, but it was the story side of it that completely fell flat in a lot of those films. That's just my opinion on that. Other people absolutely love the films, which is all well and good, but this in trailers, obviously the whole process. Excuse me. The whole process of a trailer is to try and get bums on seats. They're obviously, they are being secretive to a point, because there is some stuff that has actually apparently been said about Rise of the Beasts, that there is actually more characters in the film, but yet we've not seen those characters actually on screen yet. The only characters we've actually seen, thanks to the trailer, is Cheetor, Primal, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, Wheeljack, RC, Scourge, Battletrap, and I think the female Terracon. I've forgotten her name. But yeah, so basically we've only seen about 10 characters, give or take. I could be wrong with that, with the maths there, but we've seen, they're the only characters we've seen on screen. Oh, Airraiser, sorry. We've seen Airraiser and Rhinox as well. Sorry, there were 2 more that I've neglected to mention. So yeah, so we've seen those characters. So Rhinox, Airraiser, Scourge, Battletrap, the female Terracon, and then we've seen Prime, Primal, Cheetor, Rhinox, and so on. So there's a fair few we've seen on screen, but there has been rumours that there is other characters. Apparently there will be more Beast Wars characters. Mostly, the reason why we're saying this, why I'm saying this, is that the film, obviously there is like a bit of art. There's like a carving, like there's like something that has been used for in order to promote the film, in order to like a design that is going on, like books, like for like organizers for kids for school and things like that, and lunch boxes and things. There was like a design that's been going around that they've been using as part of the merchandise side, and it's basically like an old carving, and it basically has all of the Transformers characters, all the Beast Wars characters. It obviously has Primal on there. There's also Dinobot is on there, Rat Trap is on there, Black Arachne is on there. Basically every single Beast Wars character, Predacon or Maximal, are a part of this carving, which makes me wonder is that there is actually more characters. But one thing I do like about the trailer is that they're not letting too much out. This was actually supposedly meant to be just a very quick teaser trailer, but they actually gave us a much bigger trailer. This is the first, obviously, this film, you know, Rise of the Beasts, the trailer for Rise of the Beasts, it is a teaser, but at the same time, it is more or less telling you the story. It's actually more of a story-driven trailer. We will obviously be getting another trailer, at least maybe 2 more trailers at least, before the film actually does come out. The film comes out this year, 2023, I think in June. I think it's June time it comes out. So let's get back on track with the comments here. Ninja Bill. Trailers are nice, but I never try to draw any conclusions from them because they are made to draw attention, yes. Not particularly what is in the actual film. That is very true. We don't know exactly what we're going to find out in the final thing. Of course, this is very early talking about anything. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to be too negative with what I've seen. This is just generally my first impressions of, because obviously we've not really seen anything for ages, have we? We've not really seen anything for ages. When this film was first announced, and then the idea of Beast Wars characters in live action format, when all that was first announced, we generally didn't know what to expect, and there was a lot of silence for ages. And then all of a sudden, we finally got the announcement of Ron Perlman, who will be voicing Primal, and then obviously Optimus Prime will be voiced by Peter Cullen. And that, for a long time after that, was the first announcement of anything for the Rise of the Beasts. And then we started getting a lot of the film being filmed on locations and things. We started getting stuff like that, a lot of the stunt work being happening, and things like this, that, and the other, kind of going on. And then all of a sudden, we started getting a few more cast announcements: who's playing who, voicing who, and then we finally got the announcements who's playing Battletrap, and obviously we're also getting Airraiser, Mirage. We're all getting all these characters coming into the equation. We're finally getting voice actors or actors who are, going to play those characters. So we finally started getting bits and more of information. So they have been quite secretive with this film, and for the most part, they are, from what I can gather, they're still looking for acting talent to voice characters in this film. By the looks of it, it's still a little bit of a mystery, which part of me is happy for it to be a bit of a mystery, because I don't want to be too spoiled. I don't want to be spoiled too much before going to see this film. I don't want to see literally everything. I don't want to see literally everything shown in trailers before I've even seen the film. I mean, how they're going about this is, one part of it is quite secretive. What I mean by secretive, it just feels secretive to the point where there's still a hell of a lot going on behind the scenes. It sounds like they are still looking for acting talent. They're still looking for people to voice characters or to play characters on screen. Well, mostly the voice side of it. I think that the filming is already been done, but I think the robot side, the Autobots cast has pretty much, I think, been sorted. But yet there's been, I don't think anyone's been announced yet who's playing RC or voicing RC. We've only got the voice actor for Wheeljack and Battletrap, who is actually the same guy. I think it's David Sobolov. He's voicing Wheeljack and Battletrap in the same film, so that guy is actually voicing two characters. But yet we don't know who's voicing RC at the moment, unless something has been mentioned about RC, but I haven't seen it. But RC is still got no voice actress, no actress or no one voicing her yet. Oh, there will be, but there hasn't been an announcement made who was voicing. The only cast members that I know of is it David Sobolov or whatever. Basically, he's voicing Battletrap and Rhinox. So we've got him. Then we've got what's her name? Oh, forgotten her name. Oh, Michelle Yeoh, who is voicing Airazor. Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime. Then we've got Pete Davidson as Mirage. And then we've got another actress who's voicing Nightbird. That's the female Terracon, Nightbird. I've forgotten her name. But yeah, so we've got her, the person voicing her as well. Who else? Obviously, Ron Perlman as Primal. Am I missing anybody else out here? I think that's it. I don't think that they're the only ones that I've actually seen as casted as voicing those characters. So there's still characters yet to be announced, or still actors yet to be announced of who they're portraying, who they're playing, so on and so forth. But I have heard rumors that there is going to be literally, like, we're going to probably, I mean, it would be, the thing is with this film is I don't know what they're doing. We've been, sorry, I'm trying to get my words out. It's so difficult for me to get my words out in a way where you can understand what I'm trying to say. Is that I absolutely love Beast Wars, right? I absolutely love Beast Wars, but part of me, from what I've seen so far, I generally feel that I'm trying to be open-minded with what I've seen, but the way this film's been handled, it doesn't feel like the films we've seen before. Even the Michael Bay films, that obviously a lot of the casting and everything, the voiceover stuff was done quite early into production, if I remember rightly, or I could be wrong with that. I don't know, but like, the voice actors actually did portray the voice acting stuff was done quite early into production when they were, I think, at the same time of filming the film, or when it was in like very early CGI process at least. So basically, they did that quite early on into production. So once the film was actually finished, everyone that was currently working on it, all the actors that were working on the film, a voice actor or on-screen actor, what have you, everybody was listed as who was playing who. But with Rise of the Beasts, it's like they're still haven't announced their cast yet. They've not announced the full cast for the film. There's rumors of characters we've not even seen on screen yet. There seem to be mostly focusing on, obviously, like the big name characters, which is like Rhinox, Cheetor, Primal, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, RC, Wheeljack, Nightbird, Scourge, Battletrap, etc. They're the big ones that we've seen a lot more screen time for, and we've seen a lot more in announcements to toy releases and things like that. So, for me personally, I generally feel that this film, I don't know, there's something about this film. I don't know whether it's a Michael Bay thing. Even though Michael Bay isn't directing this film, he's obviously he's a producer. Michael Bay is producer of this film. He's not directing it. It's been directed by, what's his name? Let me just get this guy's name up. Stephen Capel Jr. Yeah. Stephen Capel Jr. is the guy directing this film. So it just, for me personally, I just think there's something doesn't seem quite right here. I would have thought they would have got everybody that they wanted, everybody that they were looking into voicing characters or to play characters on screen. I would have thought all that would have been done very early into production before the film even started filming. I would have thought that stuff would have pretty much been handled by then, or at the very latest, at the point of when they were starting the CGI work on the robots, at least, which would have still been, just after the film had just been filmed, so that the actors had something to go on. But I don't know what they're going with. It just doesn't make any sense to me what's going on with how they're approaching the casting. I don't know if anybody else has the same thought process as me, or if I'm just overthinking things here, but it's just the way that everything seems so secretive, which to a point I am quite thankful for, because I don't want to notice everything. I don't want to see everything at once in the trailers and that. I don't want to be spoiled, if that makes any sense. But at the same time, it doesn't make any sense that they are still actively looking for actors to voice characters when they are practically almost finished. The CGI work is practically finished, almost finished. Obviously, they'll be working on it right up until the film releases, I assume. But they'll still be probably working on a lot of the bigger scenes, like a lot of the action scenes and things like that nature. But no, getting back to what Ninja Bill says, trailers are nice and all, but, never draw too much of a conclusion from them. But, yeah, that is very true. I mean, there has been times with trailers that you basically, there has been problems with trailers in the past where there has been a couple of scenes or a couple of clips in the trailer that were never in the finished film, which I completely understand his point there. So we don't know what to go with. Obviously Michael Bay was a bit of a master of deception. When Michael Bay was at the helm of Transformers films, like from 2007 onwards, Michael Bay was quite clever at trying to steer away any people that were trying to find out information. So he would kind of purposely say stuff say stuff that was obviously made up or was complete fiction. And then a lot of people, then that stuff was allowed to be leaked So there was some stuff that was leaked that was actually false information. And that was because Michael Bay was trying to keep everything under wraps. So part of me is thinking that Michael Bay is at play here with the trying to keep things under wraps. And then but obviously, even though it's Stephen Coppell Jr., it's his film, he's directing this film. But yet I think Michael Bay is trying to tell Stephen to try and keep things under wraps until the film actually comes out and not to release too much at once. I generally think that's maybe what's going on here. Or Paramount themselves are trying to be very careful with what they release too quickly. Because, as we know, Paramount have lost a lot of money. The Last Night cost them big. The failure of The Last Night, which was the last one through Michael Bay, they lost a Chinese investor, which is a big red flag to anyone that is working in Hollywood. Chinese investment in Hollywood is basically like, jam on toast. It's basically works hand in hand with one another. Chinese investment is a big thing. And to lose a Chinese investor, as well as losing, if not, I don't know how many millions they lost. They lost so much money because of the failure of The Last Night. So when they brought back the idea of Bumblebee and when Bumblebee got released, that kind of gave them a little bit more hope. Yes, it was a smaller budget film. There was less characters on screen, but yeah, for me personally, I thought Bumblebee was perfect. I thought you had the perfect number of characters. It wasn't overcrowded, which was a problem that I noticed or thought there was a problem with the Michael Bay stuff, is that it was overcrowded. After 2007 film, I thought the 2007 film was perfect. You had this, you had pretty much the same amount of robots for both sides, Autobot and Decepticon. But then, basically, when you got into Revenge of the Fallen onwards, you basically had like endless amounts of cannon-foddered Decepticons that really didn't really have much of a name until they brought out toys. And then you had your main bad guys like Megatron, Starscream, etc. You had all the big guys in there as well. So it started to get very expensive, and you started to get all these characters that were on screen at any one time. It started to get quite confusing, and so basically that's what I really enjoyed about Bumblebee, was mostly because they kept things simple. They had a simple approach about Bumblebee. But yet, for me, it had the most heart for me personally, because you had those beautiful montages on Cybertron before Bumblebee comes to Earth. And you had those very, very, very... You could tell Travis Knight was a bit of a fan of Transformers. He obviously played with the toys when he was a kid. You got that feeling from him, which I felt a connection there with what Travis Knight was trying to do with Bumblebee. But with Rise of the Beasts, I've heard rumours that Stephen Coppell Jr. is actually a fan of Beast Wars and Transformers as a whole. He is actually a big fan. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see until the film comes out. But if he was a fan, I would have thought he would have kind of designed characters in a different way to what he's done at the moment. I feel Stephen Coppell Jr. is under the impression of somebody else, either a Paramount executive or Michael Bay. Somebody is, I think, in the ear of... I don't know. I think somebody is whispering in Stephen's ear, and I think they're trying to get their point across in a certain way. And I think Stephen's pretty much just at the helm as a name. I'm hoping it's not going to be like an MGM stunt, because, with MGM, they are known for kind of appointing a director to a film, but not allowing them any sort of creative input, which was basically like, for instance, Terminator Salvation for one of the was a film that the director was not allowed any creative input. He had to make the film as the board of directors at MGM wanted it to be. So the film ended up actually being a complete piece of shit. And then same with the RoboCop remake. MGM did the same thing with that. Wouldn't allow creative input to the director. And we ended up with, even though personally I don't mind the RoboCop remake, but it isn't the RoboCop I love from the 80s, the original RoboCop. I love that film. Love the first two films for RoboCop. But yeah, so this is, I don't know, personally. It just makes me think that I think things, I don't know. I don't know if Paramount have been overly cautious with it because of they've lost so much money and they lost to the Chinese investor because of the last night film. So I don't know if they're trying to be cautious and trying to approach it in a certain way. And then Stephen Capel Jr., I don't know if Michael Bay's been involved with him in how to approach the film, because I do feel it does feel very Michael Bay-like, even though it isn't. He's not the director. It does feel very Michael Bay-ish, even though he's just the producer. I don't know. Let me get back on track with these comments. I've got quite a few comments here. Where was we? Right, so Hydro Knight 01, he says, first one was alright and Bumblebee was great, but everything in between was a descending spiral of awful. I can only agree with that. Rhinox and Ares are in there too. Yep. I neglected to mention those two at the beginning, but yep, they are certainly in there. Ninja Bill, the main thing with trailers are the fact that 50% of them use cut content, not actual film moments. That is true. So you never know. I mean, obviously we will be getting more than one trailer. Usually how things go with I mean, obviously this film doesn't release until I think June. I think it's about June, July time. I think it releases within Rise of the Beasts. So yeah. So basically, I think we'll probably get one more trailer, which might actually give us a little bit more to go on. I don't think they'll. I mean, I'm hoping that they don't release too much. I would like to be surprised, like I keep saying. I want, if there are other Beast Wars characters in there, I would like to be surprised and not know that until I actually go to see the film. Like, oh my god, look, it's Tigertron. Oh my god, it's Dinobot. Or it's Rat Trap. Or it's Megatron. T-Rex Megatron. He's there. He's right there. I want to be surprised about certain things. So I'm going to be quite careful with going forward. I've seen the first trailer. And I think I might leave it at that. I might not really indulge in any other trailers because I generally want to be surprised for this because I'm a huge Beast Wars fan. And I just want them to treat these characters, especially the Beast Wars characters, I want them treated properly. Not like what fucking Netflix did. Yeah, that's another thing entirely. Basically, how Netflix treated the Beast Wars characters was terrible. The voice performances were terrible, in my opinion. So I generally hope we don't have that happening, but in live action format. I don't want that to happen. I really don't. Ninja Bill, got a jet. Great discussion. Have a terrific stream. Thanks, man. Thank you for joining me. Right. Hydra Knight says, link for the merch with the mural mentioned. It's pretty much a Beast Wars Season 1 cast minus Tigertron and with Dinobot portrayed as a Predacon. Well, the thing is, obviously, I don't know what they're doing with this. It sounds... obviously, Dinobot was originally a Predacon. Dinobot obviously was originally a Predacon, but then he left the Predacons and joined the Maximals. So I don't know whether they're going to go down that approach where the Dinobot is in the film. He starts off as a Predacon. He fights on the Predacon side, and by the end of the film, he sees a different way and he goes towards the Maximals. So they actually get a new member. I don't know. I don't know whether they're keeping things simple, keeping characters, not doing that kind of thing. I don't know, but because I don't know whether they're trying to set up whether we might see Beast Wars characters in the future of the Transformers franchise, in the live action films. I'm hoping that it's not just this one film that Beast Wars characters are a part of it. If they do decide to make a film after Rise of the Beasts, it would be nice to see characters. It would be nice to maybe see them again, but I don't know how this is going to work out, because obviously this film shouldn't really work out, especially at the time period that this film's set in. Because if you're going by Beast Wars, that I remember Beast Wars, the Beast Wars characters, they was on Earth prehistoric times. So there wasn't any humans or anything like that. It was just animals. There might have been the odd very early caveman tribe, but there was, as an actual civilization, there was no human civilization on Earth at the time of the Predacons and the Maximals arriving on Earth. Hence why these characters are so old and their organic states are starting to break down a bit, and you're starting to see the robot underneath. I see where they're going with that, but it doesn't make any sense that they are still on Earth, because if you're going by canon with these characters, which I don't think they are, I think they're making their own canon with this. The Beast Wars characters leave Earth eventually, and they go back to Cybertron, and obviously that's where Beast Machines comes into it. But so I think they're retconning Beast Machines, so they never actually leave Earth. I think they've retconned Beast Machines in the live action spectrum, and I think they are not going to go back. So basically, the Beast Wars have happened. It happened millions of years ago, and they never leave Earth. Earth is their home. They stay on Earth. They never go back to Cybertron, and the Predacons and the Maximals are on Earth, and have been for millions of years. So I generally think they've retconned the idea of Beast Machines, even though some fans out there probably won't give a shit about that, because some people do not like Beast Machines. I personally don't mind Beast Machines. It wasn't the best, but it was it was an interesting series. There wasn't anything quite like it on TV at the time, in my opinion. So it certainly got attention in that way. But I'm just thinking, as approaching this, is that the fact that they are still on Earth, and this film is based in the 90s. So it's this film is based in the 90s. That's what the timestamp is, time set. So it's the 90s. So the fact that the Beast Wars characters are still on Earth in the 90s, when they originally would have probably been on Earth for millions of years, prehistoric times to now, makes me wonder that they never left Earth, or it's some kind of time jump thing. I won't say time jump, but maybe time travel is a part of this, because that was an early discussion process of whether they might have like the Beast Wars characters might have maybe traveled back in time to I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I generally think that's maybe what they're going with. I think they've maybe retconned the idea of Beast Machines. So the Beast Wars characters never left Earth. They've been on Earth. They've been literally on Earth ever since. So they've done the Beast Wars fight. They've lived on Earth in harmony. They've been in stasis probably for millions of years, and then they've been woken up again. And that's pretty much what I'm kind of thinking will happen. At least that's just my thought process there. Hydra Knight. If they are still looking for voice talent, they are going to be phoning it in at this point. That doesn't bode well. Yep. It doesn't, does it? I mean, for all I know, they probably have got all the cast and out. They've probably got all the cast for this film. They probably do have all the cast, but they've yet to actually announce certain voicing certain characters. I think some characters are probably being deliberately kept secret, hush hush, but yet we don't have we don't have an actress or anyone that has been announced to voice RC yet. There's certain characters that still, you know what I mean. There's certain characters, and there's rumors that there's other robot characters in this film that potentially could have a voice as well. So, for all I know, they probably have found the acting talent. They probably have done their lines. They've recorded, but they've yet to actually be announced. That's the point I'm trying to make here, is that they've yet to even announce it. So I am a bit concerned by how they are handling just the auditions, just the finding the talent to play these characters. It's just how they are, that's just me. Smithno, it looks cheap to me. I hope it tugs on the heart of the way Bumblebee did. Scourge looks amazing. Scourge does look good. I love the look of Battletrap, and I love the look of I love Battletrap, and I love Scourge. I think those two characters look fantastic. So yeah, they very much look very cool. The toys look great for them as well. I'm very, very much looking forward. Thing is, the Rise of the Beast toys, for the most part, I've not been overly that happy with. I thought they looked really shit. A lot of the toy releases or toy reveals I've seen so far, I know they're very early prototype, possibly, but they look terrible. They generally look terrible, but yet Scourge, the truck mode and the robot mode looks fantastic. Same with the truck mode and the vehicle mode, robot mode for Battletrap. They both look fantastic. They are the only two figures I think I will actually probably potentially buy for the film. Yes, you've got Airazor and you've got what was the other one? Yeah, you got Airazor and you got Cheetor, which are obviously based off the figures from the Kingdom toys. So you've got basically got like two retool figures based off a coexisting figure for both Cheetor and for Airazor. Yes, they look okay, but I don't know. I don't like the Cheetor figure. Just something about it doesn't look quite right for me. So yeah. Right, where are we going? No, Hydronite. Misinformation is one thing, but it helps to actually have a clue what you were doing in the first place. Bay generally doesn't tell complex stories. He likes to focus on fast action and big explosions. Yeah, that's very true. The review spot. Hello, how are you? Travis Knight cared about Transformers as a brand and a property. Michael Bay just made movies about fighting robots from space. Exactly. Yes, you've got that completely right. I think the cast is going to be pretty much what we've been shown, so keep it small. It would be nice if they do keep it small, because I think the Bumblebee film, I think that some people knock the Bumblebee film, really call it out for being one of the worst films ever made, but yet it had a lot more heart. It had a lot more identity. It had a good, compelling story there. It had you could actually believe the relationship between Charlie and Bumblebee. You could believe the relationship there. Yes, there was a little bit of unnecessary humanness in there. Yeah, because obviously you had John Cena, but yet he was the agent guy trying to track down the alien life forms that were on the planet, which makes sense of him being there. I mean, end of the day, a lot of Transformers fans don't like the idea of humans being part of the Transformers series or film. End of the day, if you're coming to Earth, if a Transformer comes to Earth, they are going to encounter humans, either the military, the police, rescue teams. or just general public, they are going to meet humans. You're not going to get away from that fact. And unless it's like Beast Wars, where they arrived on Earth in prehistoric times, they arrived on Earth before the Autobots and Decepticons, as we know, the G1 continuity, before they actually was woken up from stasis. You know, the Beast Wars happened literally in a time period just before the Autobots and Decepticons woke up from stasis. And obviously they do eventually leave Earth and they go back to Cybertron, and Beast Machines continues the story. So, like I was saying a moment ago, I generally do think, but I do generally think that Beast Wars. I do generally believe that I think that I could be wrong with this, but I generally think Beast Machines is not going to be a part of the live action spectrum, at least not yet. I think they want to stay away from anything that could center around solely on Cybertron, even though there is something coming out in the future. There is something coming out in the future for Transformers. Apparently, there's going to be a new film coming out. I don't know when. I don't know if it's next year or year after, but there has been rumors of a prequel film that is solely going to be completely animated, an animated film solely on Cybertron, and it's a Transformers film, and it serves as a prequel. So I don't know if it's a prequel to the 2007 film or if it's a prequel to Bumblebee. I don't know where it is in the time zone. I don't know if it shares. I don't know if it's a part of the continuity that the movie continuity, or if it's separate. I don't know. But apparently it serves as a standalone film, but it also stands as a prequel. So I'm interested in that. I am very much interested in that. Very much. Be intriguing to see what that's about. But yeah, I mean, getting back on track with Rise of the Beast, my thought process, even though we've been talking for nearly an hour, I really hope this film does well. I generally hope this film, or Stephen, is able to reconjure the feeling, the characters, is able to kind of get a good performance out of those characters. I mean, Ron Perlman. Okay, let's get this bit out the way. Ron Perlman playing Primal. I'm not overly keen on Ron Perlman as Primal. That, unfortunately, that is it. His cast, no changes have been made. Gary Chalk wasn't even Gary Chalk and the rest of the original voice cast, except for David Sabolov, who is Battletrap and Rhinox in this film. He's the only voice actor who has previously worked on Beast Wars that has actually been brought back and is actually being used in the film. But Gary Chalk and the rest of the cast apparently have never been even contacted in regards to potentially playing a character or reprising their role as a character. So Gary Chalk hasn't been asked to come back to reprise his role as Primal, which I would have fucking loved to have heard Gary Chalk and Peter Cullen next to one another, working off each other. It would have been fantastic because, you know, both Gary Chalk and Peter Cullen, they are known for playing Optimus Prime, but obviously Gary Chalk was Primal. But they have both played Optimus Prime as well. So it would have been great to have those two, you know, it would have been great to just hear Gary Chalk and Gary Chalk and Peter Cullen working together and hearing their voices as Primal and Prime. It would have been fantastic to just hear that. It would have just been a nice little tip of the hat moment, in my opinion, but it just didn't happen. So yeah, I think the idea of Ron Perlman playing, I like Ron Perlman. He's a great actor. He is one of my favourite actors. But I just don't think he suits Primal. I just don't think he suits that character, in my opinion. I just don't like it. We haven't even had Cheetor yet, so I don't think Ian James Corlett's been approached. So obviously, originally Ian James Corlett is the voice of Cheetor, and so I haven't heard anything in regards to So I haven't heard anything in regards to whether he's been approached to reprise Cheetor, but we haven't even heard if Cheetor speaks yet. They probably will, or they might kind of maybe copy the idea that Cheetor can't speak, like Bumblebee, for instance. Bumblebee has never been able to speak, hasn't been able to speak. So, what do we know? I don't know. I don't know. But I think it will. I think. Sweet. So yeah. So I'm just reading a comment there. But yeah. So I don't know. I mean, obviously, like I said, he's another one that I've just realised. Obviously, Cheetor's voice actor hasn't been announced yet. As well. So it looks like they have announced pretty much everybody except for who's voicing Cheetor. Because this comment, obviously, hey Jace, how you doing? Just got to get him in. Can't stay, mate. But Beast Wars. Hadron Knight, it says here, according to Wikipedia, new cast info was released on December 1st. Apparently, Lisa Koshy is RC. Right, so they finally have announced RC's voice actress or actress. Then Peter Dinklage, I did hear about Peter Dinklage's Scourge. I completely went out my head. John DiMaggio as Stratosphere. Yeah, so this is like where the idea that there is actually other characters, there was other robots in this film, but yet they've not been included in the trailer or anything. So you've got John DiMaggio who's coming back, who obviously he voiced characters in the Michael Bay stuff. I know he played Crosshairs at one point. And then you've got David Sobolov as Rhinox and Battletrap, which I've just mentioned about. Then you've got Michelle Ray Rodriguez, as Nightbird. Cristo Fernandez as Wheeljack. Wait a minute. Whoa. Rhinox and Battletrap, yeah, that's why I got wrong. David Sobolov is Rhinox and Battletrap. I thought he was playing Wheeljack, but no, it's Cristo Fernandez as Wheeljack, and then Toby Nwigwe, whoever, as Reek. Yeah, interesting. So yeah, but it looks at that is that all the characters except for one character, so all but one have actually had a name attached to them providing their voice. So it's making me wonder: will Cheetor speak, or are they just yet to even announce who's playing him? I'm hoping that they don't copy the idea where Cheetor can't speak either. So you've got two characters who can't speak. So you've got Bumblebee that is constantly like, and then what's Cheetor going to be? Is he just going to growl like a cheetah? I hope not. I'm getting a bit sick of the whole Bumblebee can't speak thing in the live actions films. I want Bumblebee to actually speak for once. Would be nice. Adam White. Good evening, chaps. I expect this movie to stray away from to stray from a lot of the lore, as they want to get the fresh reboot feel. Yeah, well, I think they are, because by the looks of it, I think they're creating their own lore. They're creating their own canon, if that makes any sense. I generally think that's what's going on. Mostly because obviously this film, as I mentioned already, Rise of the Beasts is set in the 90s. It is set in the 90s. So the fact that the Beast Wars characters are still on Earth in the 90s doesn't actually make any sense if you're going by actual lore standpoint. If you're going by what's the original Beast Wars series, which obviously they're not, by the looks of this. The fact that the Beast Wars characters are still on Earth in stasis, possibly, but the fact that they are still on Earth in the 90s makes zero sense, because obviously, as we all know, they come to Earth in prehistoric times, and then they actually eventually do leave Earth, and they go back to Cybertron. So obviously, I think they've gotten rid of the idea of beast machines, and I think they've like retconned beast machines, and they've just gone with, right, okay, the Beast Wars characters have been on Earth for millions of years, hence why their organic state, their organic forms have started to decay a little bit, and they have literally become more run down, and that's why they look very battle hardened, and they look like, you know, they look like how they look in the film. Like, you know, you can definitely see they are actually robots, but yet they've still got a little bit of organic bits on them. So who knows? I mean, like I say, I mean, end of the day, we can't really form too much of an opinion, even though I've been talking for about 50 odd minutes or so on this live stream, talking about my thoughts on the trailer and what I've seen so far. I understand the fact process is that I understand that the changes have been made. We can see that obviously the Beast Wars characters are quite big. They're actually quite huge compared to the original designs of the Beast Wars characters. Part of me, I don't have much of a problem with having like a giant sized gorilla and a cheetah the size of a car, and you know, and you got like a giant bloody rhino basically. But obviously, I don't have a problem with the animals being much bigger. It does actually work better, because obviously when you're working side by side with Autobots and the bad guys and everything, that are obviously much bigger robots. You know, when you've got them to contrast towards, and you've got them to like work towards, you know, the scale is a problem. So I don't have a problem per se with the Beast Wars characters being bigger. It's just, for me, I don't like the designs. I don't like the design of Primal. I understand his worn down, his organic state. His organic state is, you know, started to crumble, it's started to decay or whatever, and it's starting to show the robot underneath. But yet, I know we're going by the trailer here, but it's literally the first time we see Primal on screen, or we actually physically see his design. And we do kind of see him transform as well for the first time as well. And I just think I don't like his robot mode. I don't like Primal's robot mode. I just think he looks. It doesn't look like there's enough color there. So I do hope that any criticism is kind of heard a little bit, and I hope that it isn't the final look for Primal and for Cheetor and for everyone else, because like I say, you know, there's been also talk about Wheeljack. I know we're going by a toy here, but the toy release for Wheeljack, a lot of people have been saying stuff about he looks terrible. What have they done? They've completely changed how Wheeljack. I mean, this film, Rise of the Beast, is supposed to be a continuation from what happened with Bumblebee. Okay, it's supposed to be a continuation from Bumblebee. It's supposed to serve as a Bumblebee sequel, as well as a new film with more characters added and such. But yet, for some reason, it doesn't make any sense that they have completely redesigned Wheeljack's look from how he looked in Bumblebee, with the iconic Wheeljack head with the flashing side things that he has. You know, the designs in Bumblebee were fantastic. They were very faithful designs, and it doesn't make any sense that we come to Rise of the Beasts. Some characters look fantastic, others, like Wheeljack, for instance, and for me, Primal, but we're talking about Wheeljack here more. But Wheeljack, it just doesn't look right for me. I don't like his. I'm hoping that they change it, but I don't think they will, because obviously there's a toy being produced now for that figure for the character design. So who knows? But the thing is, this is a Transformers film. Usually you do get more than one. Usually there's more than one transformation sequence for a Transformer in these live action films. Like, for instance, look at Bumblebee. Look at Bumblebee, for instance. He basically he's gone from a Volkswagen Beetle to a SS Chimera, the 60s model, I think, Chimera, and then you've basically got like all the other versions of the Chimera over the years. And then obviously Optimus Prime, he's gone from like a massive, big, long-nosed truck to a flatbed truck, or whatever you want to call it. He's gone from, completely different design truck cab combinations. He's changed a lot in the live-action films. So for me personally, I mean, I do know that Bumblebee has 2 modes in this film, possibly. He has like an off-road mode, or an off-road vehicle mode, which is like a modified Chimera that is modified to go off-road with. So he's got like an off-road design, alt mode, and then I think he might have another mode as well, which is like just a regular Bumblebee. So I'm thinking that we haven't seen any of this in trailer. The film hasn't come out yet, but I generally think some characters might actually transform again. They might actually maybe scan an alternate mode eventually, and then they might. At the end of the day, because this is Transformers, and Hasbro want to make money. They want to make toys that are based on characters in the film. So if you think about it, if you produce characters that have more than one alt mode, they will produce another toy to go with that other version, won't they? So, which they have done, they have done in the past. It's just the way it is. Well, I guess who knows, but yeah, from what I've seen so far, I am an open-minded person to a degree. It's just I am very, very. I love Beast Wars, and Beast Wars is a series that is quite dear to my heart. It was the very first Transformers series I ever checked out as a kid. Before, I was at the time I didn't even know it was Transformers, because originally it didn't have Transformers in the title. It was just Beast Wars, and it wasn't until later that they actually called it Beast Wars Transformers. But when I first watched Beast Wars, I didn't realize it was Transformers. I just saw these big robots and dinosaurs and bugs and insects transforming from a bug to an animal to a dinosaur to a big giant robot. And I was like, wow. And I thought the story, the writing, as I got older, I've discovered that the writing side of it was fantastic. You had Simon Furman write the very, very last ever episode. 2-parter, I think it was. Simon Furman wrote that episode, who is well known within the comic books side of it, Marvel UK and such. So you had the writing was fantastic, and it would be so good if they would honor that a little bit with the writing, how they expand upon these Beast Wars characters, how they introduce them, how they are portrayed. I really hope they put a bit of emphasis on that. I really hope that they actually do treat those characters with the respect that they should have, just like any other character. That's all I ask. That is all I ask. But whether that will happen, I don't know. But I'm going to try and be open-minded. I am going to be very careful of any media that comes out after this first trailer. I might not even check out anything past this trailer, because generally I don't want to be spoiled. Because I don't want them to. Obviously, the first trailer, they kind of gave us a little bit more than I was expecting, but yet not. But they didn't give us too much in order think, oh shit, I didn't want to see that. So they are being quite secretive to a degree still. And the fact that they are very slowly releasing casting choices, like it has taken quite a long time for them to actually announce the voice cast for the film alone. But yet there is still one voice actor that they've yet to even announce, and it's Cheetor. I mean, I know at the beginning of this live stream, I was under the impression that they hadn't announced that there was still a couple more that they've yet to announce, but they haven't. There's no name for Cheetor yet, who's voicing Cheetor. So whether they have been in touch with Ian James Corlett, I don't know. But Ian James Corlett hasn't really been speaking about this film. He hasn't really said anything on his socials. There's been no sort of inkling that Ian James Corlett could indeed come back. I mean, they've got David Sabolov. David Sabolov played Depth Charge in Beast Wars, the original Beast Wars series. So who knows? They could maybe get Ian James Corlett to go alongside with Bumblebee. But I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But from all the robots that we've actually seen on screen or part of the trailer have now got a voice actor attached, or voice actress or actor, whatever, attached to them, except for Cheetor. So I don't know what's going on with that, but it's been a very, very strange process. The Rise of the Beast process has been quite strange. I must admit, it really has been quite strange compared to the past films. They've been very careful with this film. Obviously, it's much of a bigger budget. At least it feels like it's got a much bigger budget because of the amount of robots that are in this. I mean, you've got Beast Wars characters, you've got Autobot characters, you've got Scourge, Nightbird, and Battletrap, who are the big three bads. There's rumours of Predacons, even though we've not even seen a single Predacon actually on screen yet, so we don't know, but potentially there could be a fucking huge amount of robots on screen at one point. But who knows? But anyway, so let me finish off the comments here. Adam White again. Hope they kept at least one character out of the trailers as either an Easter egg or a joke or a surprise. Yeah, I hope so too. I mean, I've just basically said about that is that apparently there is rumours that there is other characters, there's other Beast Wars characters that are potentially in the film, but we've not seen a design for them. We've not even seen a casting choice for them. We haven't seen any sort of information to actually prove they're in the film, but yet they are apparently in there. So there's potential of other Beast Wars characters besides Primal, Cheetor, Rhinox, and Airazor, and I think a character called Reek, which is another Beast Wars character. I think a brand new character for the film. So yeah, we don't know. And then Hydro Knight, Primal in the trailer, transform is a bit relative there. I think he kind of just shifts a few plates and stands up straight, and presto, he's a robot. Yeah, it would have been nice if they kind of did the whole thing where Primal essentially, where his lower end, he kind of like, like he does, when his top end kind of comes up, but then his legs kind of go round, so it twists his lower half. It would have been nice to have seen that in live action. But yeah, it's just one of those things, isn't it? I mean, end of the day, I really hope that. I mean, obviously, they are still working on. They're still working on. They are still working on the CGI side of things. Still working on that. So they're still working on on the CGI stuff. So. I know, like Dave, he said that he thinks it looks quite cheap in the trailer, but for me, from my standpoint of that, is I generally think it is. They are still obviously working. They're still finishing off the CGI. People have noticed some CGI mistakes as well in the trailer, so it makes me wonder is that they literally scrubbed that together very quickly. any scenes that were almost finished, a couple of scenes that were just almost finished. They wasn't completely finished, but they were just about finished. I think they incorporated those CGI scenes in the trailer, and they basically, if you notice that, the CGI in the big battle scene in the trailer, at the end of the trailer, the CGI does not look as good at all. It looks actually quite bad. The CGI, some of the up close CGI looks quite good, but it's the transforming side things, and there's certain bits in there you can see they're still obviously fast working, trying to make the CGI look as good as it can be. So I generally hope the CGI does improve when the film, up to the point of the film coming out. I will be seeing this film, and I will be making a review of it. I'll be doing a review talking about it once it's out. But I just am a bit concerned is that, I am a bit concerned because these Beast Wars characters, they hold a big part of my childhood. That they're quite special to me, and I generally want those characters to be treated with the respect that they should have. I want them to be portrayed well. And if Stephen Capel Jr. is indeed a Beast Wars fan that he claims to be, I really hope that this work shows that. And I hope he doesn't listen too much to Michael Bay, because he doesn't understand the lore side of it, and he doesn't understand Transformers, and he doesn't understand the fans of Transformers. He only sees it as, big giant robots from outer space. So he only sees it as that. So I generally hope Stephen Capel Jr. can kind of do a good film. It would be nice. But we can only hope. But anyway, so I'm going to go now. Thank you ever so much for everybody that eventually did come into the chat. Thank you ever so much to Hydro Knight 01. Thank you to Ninja Bill Reviews. Thank you to Smizno, the Review Spot. Thank you to you. Thank you to Jace, Adam White. Thank you ever so much to you guys for joining me this evening. So it's been nice to bring this to finally do a live stream. It's been nice to bring these back. I am hoping to try and do a live stream at least once a week. I really would like to try and get back into the live streams on the channel. Thank you ever so much for the support. Thank you for your patience. I will be trying to do a review as well this weekend if I can. I might maybe film it tonight and upload it probably for tomorrow, Saturday. But I would like to get a review out this weekend as well on top of this live stream. But anyway, so thank you ever so much for the support. Thank you for watching. And so this has just been my live stream and finally getting my thoughts off my chest a little bit of from the trailer for Rise of the Beasts. And it's been nice to get a little bit of back and forth from you guys as well in the chat. So thank you. See you soon, everybody. And I'll be back with more live streams and reviews very soon. And also check out my vlog channel, John Knowles Vlogs channel, if you're into that kind of stuff as well. So I'll be coming back and do my vlogs as well, a lot more often. Now that things have gone back to normal, no long hours at work or everything like that, so I can actually kind of put a bit more time and effort into my channels again. So anyway, bye-bye. See you soon.